Hey, I don't know why I had the urge to bring the show outside today. Um, May delete it, Very unpredictable day, as you can well imagine from my earlier post. Sort of in a panic a little bit there. Story of my life, TMI. TMI. Speaking of TMI, my book. I'm still grinding on that thing. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, whoa, I'm pushing for that deadline, but yikes with these sites and tech support. Oh my God, whoa. I think sometimes tech support is not like kind of that technical. Like they kind of have another job. Like that has nothing to do with being technical at all. So yeah. So anyway, that's what that was all about earlier. A lot of bad stuff happened to me when I was younger, as you can well imagine. I think I've shared again TMI on earlier shows, and there's plenty of it in my book. My book is not about gore or graphic details or anything like that. You're not going to find that. It's more about emotional impact, much more. That's why I always say it's kind of like PG-13. Um, because I use the F word like once or twice. It's not graphic, but the emotional impact is there so strong, and there's some love stuff. It's not all like horrors. So anyway, enough about the book. I'm pushing on that, doing the best I can. But like I said, yeah, there's some stuff that happened to me that was really bad, and so certain words or combinations of words, you may understand more about this kind of thing, about sort of maybe why I'm like this, or my brain kind of interprets things differently. But you have to buy the book to get that, because I go into detail about that later on in the book. And I'm not being coy. It's just something that's very special to me, that's part of that story, and I think it belongs in that story for now. But it was bad, and so these combination of words trigger me tremendously, used within a certain context. So if someone says the words, and it's within a certain context that they're giving me information, and it triggers me, I have a meltdown. But I know enough to remove myself from these meltdowns. They're to be expected. People don't understand why I have them a lot of times, like today, and it's about that stuff. So it's connected. It's no one's fault when it happens. People don't know that they're triggering me. They certainly don't mean to, but I can't help it. It just has to do with all that stuff. So I had my little meltdown and taped you guys, and a lot of this is TMI. I'd like to address the TMI part of it though, just real quick. Um, I know that I've lost a lot of friends in this process, and I think maybe some of it has to do with the book. Maybe they don't want to admit it or offend me. And I find my brain going into apolosory modes. Apolosories or apolosaries, I should say. Not sorries. Apolosaries are kind of a sorry, not sorry apology. Um, So I give a lot of those, right? Because my story is evidently too much information for some. And like I said, I've suffered, I think because of that, little ghosting, some folks dropping me, some couple kind of blatantly telling me, you know, that, you know, all this stuff is just kind of too much. Well, guess what? I have a 21-year-old son. I'm a proud father of a young man who's 21, and I don't expect to apply my sensibilities to you. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a parent to understand me. But having a 21-year-old and reflecting back on the injustice that was served me at that age and much younger, I'm not sorry. Actually, if this is TMI, well, that's something for you to struggle with. It's not mine. And I look at some of these videos, and I was like, wow, I'm glad there was not a lot of views on that, because that was really expository. And then I'm like apologizing to myself. I didn't ask for this stuff. But I do have a 20-year-old and I do have a 21-year-old son. And if this had happened to him, uh, God forbid, being in scenarios where people were aware that it was happening to him, those people would also be in trouble with me. But yeah, if in 2025 I had found this out, as many of you would imagine, uh, everything would be toast. Like everyone would be toast. So don't be toast. But I love you anyway, and I understand if you don't want to be a part of this journey. I totally get it. Let's deep dive into some ET stuff real quick because we have about maybe 4 minutes left. So I was on the set of ET. I think I revealed this in my book. I don't know that I've revealed this anywhere else. And there was the big apocalypse now scene, which I refer to it as the Halloween scene in the street that looked like a block party. So I think a lot of that was cut out, actually, and it was an homage to Apocalypse Now. I don't care what anyone says. The way he has the lights strung across the street for that block party effect, that's pure Apocalypse. Go see it. Go see some of that. So I was chosen, of course, to be that Nixon, masked character behind D. No one ever knew that was me. So I was chosen to do that. For some reason, Stephen wanted only me to do that. And I thought, anyone can do this, jump in with a mask or something. So I got a little lax about that evening. And I actually figured, well, maybe Stephen will have someone else do the mask because it's just a jump in, jump out, as you can see on the film. But for some reason, I had to be the one. So I snuck off of the set. We were on location. As you can see, it's in the street. And it was by the makeup trailers, these trailers that are just like door. They call them dressing room. So I snuck behind there. It was a little kind of hill, the rocky hill with bushes where you could see everything that they were doing, but of course you could not be seen. And I had a cigarette. Sorry guys, bad stuff. I did that for 37 years and I still get freaked out with every x-ray and MRI. So don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. It's disgusting. Once you quit, you realize how disgusting it is. But there I was, 14, having my little cigarette. And so he calls for me. And I'm like, oh man, I hope he just kind of like gets someone else to do it. Hello, Steven Spielberg. Like he's going to get someone else to do it. So I just sort of continue smoking, believe it or not. So I hear my name the second time over a bullhorn now. And I realized, no, this is not, apparently no one else but me can do this. So I put out my cigarette and I started making my way down. And he doesn't see me making my way down yet, or making my way anywhere near them or near the set, for that matter. And I hear again on the bullhorn, Sean, we are trying to make a movie here. So I can always have that memory of being screamed at through a bullhorn to stop having my cigarette and come and do my job as an actor. And Stephen, you had every right to scream in that bullhorn and make me put my cigarette out. Anyway, you guys, I think we're maybe fast approaching 9 minutes. I am religious now, for lack of a much better word, about trying to keep these, really at 9, because honest to God, I wouldn't watch myself for that long. It's not that interesting. But I'm glad you're here with me. I'm glad you were here with me earlier when I had my little moment. I know it's weird to need people that are in space, in the ether, to help me through those moments, but you were in whatever fashion, and I appreciate it. And we'll see, maybe this will go up tonight, or maybe I'll just leave it on and put it up tonight. My shows are live, sort of, so I don't look, back on them and stuff. So if this makes it, I didn't look, I'll just throw it up like I do the other ones. Okay, you guys, I'll see ya tonight. Maybe some clips, I don't know. Sorry for all the lip syncing. It's sketchy, I know. Take care. Bye.